Alright guys, been doing a lot of car meets, car events, and I'm just about to hit 100,000 miles on the 1997 986 right there. And yeah, well, I've had this car for a while now. It turned into my daily driver a little while ago. We'll talk about that. But first, 100,000 miles. I just got to get out. I got to look at this thing because I really honestly didn't think I would be driving this to 100,000 miles. I thought I'd be driving it, once a month, twice a month, something like that. And it's just turned into a car that I use as a daily driver. It was initially unintentional, and then I just started enjoying doing it for a daily. So yeah, well, at any rate, that's crazy. 100,000 miles. So let's talk about how we got here, why it's a daily, what has gone wrong in the last few years with it, and there has been a few things. Alright guys, welcome back to a friend's shop and some draining oil. Today we're not going to be going to car shows or doing any real modification. We're just doing some maintenance. And first maintenance at 100,000 miles I wanted to do is drain this oil. So over 8 quarts of oil, about 8 1/4. So might have been slightly overfilled to begin with, but yeah. Mid-engine car, kind of difficult to get to, especially being low. Does have a little rust on the bottom, but it's all surface rust. You can see my aftermarket eBay exhaust there. This is actually the second eBay exhaust, same brand. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit, and I'll explain why. But today, we're just going to talk about what has gone wrong in the last 3 years with this car. But before we do that, I guess you guys will want to know what oil I did change. I did liquid moly and I did 5W40. I went ahead and got 10 quarts as well as the filter and a magnetic drain plug from my local Advanced Auto Parts. And yeah, let's get to the issues that I've had with this car. First, we're going to talk about an air oil separator. I was driving home one night and I looked in my rearview mirror and I saw a cloud of smoke that was actually coming from me. You see on startup there, a little smoke, and then it dissipated. But having said that, searched the forums, talked to some Porsche friends, determined it was the AOS, the air oil separator. I didn't really want to drive it to a friend's shop to replace, and I didn't want to attempt it on my own. It's quite hard to get to without a lift. So in comes the trailer, start up, a little bit more smoke. We'll load that up onto the trailer and head off to my friend's shop to get that replaced. I don't think he will ever forgive me for that one. It was very difficult to get to. Very dirty in the engine bay. We cleaned that engine bay up very nicely while we had the lid off. One of the things about being a mid-engine, hidden engine, you don't see it. It gets quite dusty. If you ever do have the opportunity to open it up, it's a good time to clean it. Next thing was a bad sounding exhaust. I found a hole where the exhaust is mounted. This is the cheap eBay exhaust, mind you. The way it's soldered, it's just not great. And so it popped a hole that I filled with a quick exhaust leak filler for temporary until I could get another one in. You see it on the right side there. And then if we spin around, you'll also see it on the left. The same section where that is just the mounting points are soldered. It's not a great design, guys. It does its job. It made it about 1.5 years before it exploded. I think I gave it like $150 for it. So ordered another one for I think they're 170 now. Ordered another one, popped this one off, put the next one on. No real big deal, but I thought I would note it. If you do change to one of these cheap exhausts, if you bolt them on exceedingly tight, they don't have any flexion and they will pop. The next one was an issue. I was having some misfires and some sputtering. It turned out to be a coil pack. We'll talk about that. But the big thing was this drive side axle. I jumped on the interstate, accelerated, got up to about 6,000 RPM, heard a big bang. You can see brand new coil packs back there in red. I did change all 6 coils, all 6 plugs. Because of that sputter, it corrected the issue. But you can see here, if I can hold the camera still, that the bolts holding the drive side axle on to the transmission completely sheared, disappeared, and threw the axle onto my frame, causing me to be completely immobile on the side of the interstate. Just an awesome feeling, guys. I can't tell you how great and not nerve-wracking at all that was. But you can see kind of, luckily the transmission was okay. But yet again, back onto the trailer, back to my buddy's shop to get that sorted. And this one really annoyed me, guys, because right about the same time this happened. So I guess we'll talk about this in the future, but my Mini, well, you can hear it. Yeah, that's an engine replacement. But back to the Boxster, I've got a little bit better view here. You can kind of see where those bolts have just literally shimmed off. There's one on the lower right. There's another one and another bolt hole. It took a little while to work those out. We were able to get them out, and no real damage to anything other than possibly the bolts, but I went ahead and changed the axle just in case. So new axle bolts, new fittings. Yeah, so no more of an issue there. But now that this has happened and I did some Googling and some forum searching, this is actually a fairly common thing for the 986 and 996 generation Porsches. So when we replaced that, the first thing I did was mark it with this like highlighter paint so I can see any kind of movement in those bolts. I would highly suggest if you have a 986 or 996, make sure those bolts, especially in the drive side, are locked down tight. Mark them. If they're not Loctited, I would suggest Loctiting them because it is a known issue. After 20-something years, they can fail. So keep an eye on those, guys. So in review, 3 years, an AOS, coils, plugs, oil, a self-induced exhaust replacement, and a semi-self-induced axle replacement. I think that's pretty good considering these guys are a genuine Porsche 2-seater, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, manual roadster for less than, 90% of used sports cars out there. And you get this experience. It's just fantastic. So, I don't know, $200 to $400 in maintenance a year to be able to drive a car like this on a daily. It didn't intentionally become a daily. I wrecked my Mazda Speed, replaced it with the Mini. The Mini blew up in a year and 3 days, and now it's sort of sitting. I'm trying to decide what to do with it, sell it, keep it. I don't know. Haven't decided. You guys let me know in the comments. It needs at least a cylinder head replacement. Really, doing an engine swap is probably the smart move. A little easier to pop an engine out and put a new one in than try to get that cylinder head to match up to what's ever in there, and also hope for the best that there's no other problems with the lower block. So I don't know. probably an engine replacement, or I'll sell it, get something else. I don't know, but for right now, this is my daily because it's summer. Top down, fun weather. Hope you guys have enjoyed. We'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit that bell icon, do all the YouTube stuff, and we'll just see you when we see you. Peace.